Do you know what your path of least resistance is? I can guarantee you it's going to be different for you than it is for me. Because the thing about taking the path of least resistance, specifically your path of least resistance, is that it is completely personal and individual. And it is the easiest, most enjoyable, and fun path to take to creating the rich life of your dreams. But before we get into that, I want to share with you that these first episodes of the Soul-Led Millionaire are actually episodes that I recorded in a previous podcast that I used to have back in 2019. And the reason that I want to include these episodes in this show is because I think it's such a great way to see someone's journey, to see their progress, to see how far they've come. I know I always love seeing someone else's experience and the obstacles they've overcome, as well as what they've learned, as well as how they've evolved over time. So I think it's a great way to bring this to you, to show you where I was at only those few years ago, and to see how far I've come since then. As well as the fact that these episodes were great when I recorded them, and they're very dear to me. So I figured, why waste them? Why not let you have these episodes as well? So I hope you enjoy this episode. And if you do, please come over and leave a review for the show and let me know on Instagram what you thought of it. Now, without further ado, let's get into the episode. Holy crap, I'm so excited to talk about today's topic. Huge shifts have been happening for me since I've been amplifying my money mindset work this month, and I want to share it all with you. And today, specifically, I'm celebrating because this is actually going to be my highest earning month ever. In the history of Elise having a business, this is the most money I've ever made in my business this month. And it's no freaking coincidence that it happens to be the month that I go all in on my money mindset work. Oh, I'm so freaking stoked, so freaking happy. Because like in previous months, I've always sat around the same income mark without really doing anything. That was my energetic set point for how much money comes in. But this month, I've been working on raising my financial energetic minimum because I'm bored of this income level and I just want to go higher. You know, I want to do bigger and better things. And so I want to make more money. And the shifts and realizations I've had this month have been phenomenal and out of this world. And so I want to talk about the biggest shift I've had, the one that I really, really got this month, and that I think is going to resonate with you a lot. And that's about taking the path of least resistance from a practical sense. What is the path of least resistance? Well, in short, it is whatever moves you towards being in alignment with your desire in the easiest way possible. So it's about getting to where you want to go the easiest way possible. And usually it involves aligning your beliefs up with what you want, right? To be able to close the gap between you and your desire so that you manifest it pretty quickly. And it feels easy and it feels effortless and it feels light and happy. It feels really good. But in saying that, there is also a path of least resistance that doesn't feel good and that isn't aligned. And so I want to give you a couple of examples to show you the difference between the two. So in saying that, here's an out of alignment example. Imagine you want to drop a few pounds. You've had a few months going hard and you've eaten a lot of delicious things and now you've decided all of a sudden you want to drop a few pounds. And you know, based on what you've read and seen and learned, that it is possible to drop those pounds effortlessly through manifestation and vibrational work. Not by dieting or exercising or anything like that. You can actually manifest it with your mind. Except that right now you have the belief that you have to do some form of exercise to be able to drop pounds. That's your current belief. Like you cannot lose weight without doing exercise. You know it can be done through vibrational work, but you don't believe it yet. You know, there's a gap there. So the path of the least resistance at this very moment would actually be taking action by exercising to drop the pounds, not the vibrational work. And I know it's not exciting and it doesn't light you up and it doesn't feel easy and free and fun. It feels like work and there's a lot of bloody resistance to it. However, because the belief hasn't been developed that you can drop the pounds without any form of exercise or diet yet, despite the evidence that you've seen, the exercise is actually still the path of least resistance, even if you don't like it. So for whatever reason, if you wanted to get results right now, if you wanted to drop the pounds right now, exercising is the path of least resistance to getting those results right now. It doesn't feel good, it doesn't feel in alignment, but it will get the job done because that's where your beliefs are currently at right now. And that doesn't sound great, but that's how a lot of us operate. We do things we don't want to do, but we do them because we know they work. So here's an in alignment example. Say you are a photographer and you do branding shoots for entrepreneurs and coaches, and you want to find a way to make more money, but you're capped with how many clients you can shoot for each month. Now, let's say you have like a folder in your inbox of emails and inquiries you've stored over the last few weeks or months or even years from different, maybe international folks who want to learn how to start a photography branding business, just like you. And so you already have a belief that if you just created something for them, they'll buy it. That's the path of least resistance for you. You know that you could create a digital course and you could generate passive income, but that's not the path of least resistance for you because you don't like courses, right? You find them boring and you never seem to finish them when you take them. The idea of creating a course doesn't light you up. It doesn't feel exciting. It just feels like a lot of work, and you prefer working with your clients face to face, right? So there's like that, the clash again. That's not the path of least resistance. So instead, you ask yourself, how can I help all these people at the same time in a way that's fun for me? And then the idea dawns on you that instead of doing a course, what you could do is a live half-day online workshop showing all those interested people how they can get started with building a branding photography business. And then once that's done, you can just sell the recording as it is. That was so freaking easy, right? Like it didn't even require much effort to put it together. That's the path of least resistance. Just a quick email to your list with a pay button and a date of when to show up. Boom, you're done. So from those examples, can you see the difference between the in alignment and out of alignment paths of least resistance? Do you see how belief trumps vibration? Okay, think about that. Belief trumps vibration. Regardless of how you feel about something at any moment, your belief about it will trump your vibration. Hopefully you're getting that. So like that's when you have that, you're trying to take on the belief of my bank account is overflowing with tons of abundance. The zeros are piling on. And then immediately your mind goes, well, no, there's only $2 in there. So no. So the reason that we do the vibrational work is because the belief that we have doesn't serve us, right? So that's why we do the vibrational work, to close the gap between where we are and what we want. It's to help us align ourselves with a new belief that there is an overflowing amount of abundance in our bank accounts, right? So let me go back to that one more time. Belief trumps vibration. And the reason we do the vibrational work is because most of the time our beliefs don't serve us. There are some beliefs that we have that do serve us though. So we're not just like meat sacks walking around with all the negative thoughts in the world. No, we do have some beliefs that actually really serve us. And that's what I want to get into today. So let me tell you about this month and the 3 things that I did to work with my path of least resistance. Hey, it's Elise here, just jumping in for a quick second to ask you if you are enjoying this episode, if you're loving the content, and if you really want to take your money mindset to the next level, meaning you want to completely overcome your limiting beliefs, your money blocks, and you want to go from financially stuck to an overflowing stacked bank account, then I would love to invite you to the Rich Babe Society. This is my membership program for becoming the rich woman you were always meant to be. And in this membership, you have monthly masterclasses, monthly abundance circles, which is why everyone joins, and we literally get on a call and we bring whatever block or whatever current issue you're having with money, we completely clear it out, and then we elevate you into a new, empowering, abundant, rich state so that you leave that session on an absolute high and you are a magnet to the money that you desire. There are also a ton of other things in this membership, like 21-day challenges, monthly bundle drops of guided visualizations, meditations, and EFT. I would love for you to join me in there. We have a special promo this month that if you join in the month of November, you get 3 bonus ebooks that I have created for you. Our theme for November is spending and releasing money with ease to create an ever-replenishing supply of money. And if that sounds like a dynamic you would love to create, come over to bit.ly/Rich Babe Society. I hope to see you inside. If you have any questions, DM me on Instagram. Otherwise, let's get back into the episode. The first thing I did was I quadrupled down on the money mindset work, and I got into alignment with my goals. So at the start of the month, I set a goal to have my highest earning month. But from that starting point, I really couldn't see how it was going to happen, but I knew the how wasn't my job, right? The how is never our jobs. All my job was to work through any limiting beliefs and blocks that came up. It was to do the vibrational work like visualizing or scripting or doing affirmations or meditation and getting into the feeling place of having it already, like it had already arrived, like I was already at the end of the month and the money was there and I already had the highest earning month ever. It was to get into that feeling place. And it was also my job to lean back and allow it to come and act on any inspired ideas that came to mind, or, like inspired action. My job was to believe it. It was to get into the believing part. And so I carried on like that, trusting and knowing that I was willing to see things differently, right? So that's the first thing I did. The second thing I did after this was I thought about how I could help myself believe that more money could come in. What would help me believe it more? And at the time, I was only selling 2 products, but I had several other products already created, like already done, ready to sell, like the sales pages were already created. They were ready to go. There was no reason I shouldn't be selling them, but I just wasn't. And I remember thinking to myself, why the hell am I not selling these? So over, I think, a night, maybe two days, I published all of these sales pages, all of these products, and I made them live. And once I did that, it enabled me to believe that more money could come in because I had different sources now. It wasn't just through 2 products, it was through several products. This is what helped me get into the belief that I could hit this new goal for the month. It was one of the things. But doing that little bit of inspired action and publishing those courses and trainings and products helped me believe it was far more possible than it being able to come through just 2 products. So as you can tell, I was starting to close the gap a little bit between me and my desire. Now, here's where I was tripping myself up, because I had been seeing a lot of entrepreneurs online marketing their businesses and their products in their way. Some were using webinars, some were using challenges, some were using Facebook groups and Facebook Live, some were using Instagram stories. And I remember thinking, okay, well, I could probably do that. It doesn't excite me, but I could do it because it seems to work for them. But then later on that night, I decided to meditate. And I asked the universe to help me, to guide me, to help me figure out a way to make the money I want each month by leveling up my energetic minimum and in a way that serves me and feels good and in alignment and is for the highest good. And I sat there and I didn't receive any guidance. So I carried on doing my own thing. And then, it was maybe half an hour or an hour later, and I was doing like something totally different, not even thinking about it. And then suddenly I got the divine download, or a message, or inspired guidance, I guess you could say. And that was this, number 3. What do I already know how to do that works that I can get behind to close the gap between me and my goal? And I remember going, what? What does that mean? And again, the message came through. It was, what do you already believe that works when it comes to making money that you can get behind the belief of and amplify? I'll say that again. What do you already believe that works when it comes to making money that you can get behind the belief of and amplify? And I was like, Facebook Lives? And immediately the response back was like, no. Then I was like, well, big launches? And again, it was no. And I was like, webinars? And of course, you know me, it was a no. And then it was just like, no, what already works? What already works for you, Elise? I said to myself, well, I already believe that passive income systems work because I use them and I always have. But that's like super easy. And suddenly the light bulb went off. I was like, oh my God, of course. Of course, that's it. I don't need to try and do what others are doing. I am already a passive income queen. I already know how to make money passively without trying to sell it all the time. I already know the systems. I already know and believe they work. Why don't I just create more of them and set them up so that they can begin to bring in more income? Why the hell haven't I thought of that? And it was so obvious and it was so easy and so clear that that's the path of least resistance for me. It's not webinars or ads or big ass launches, which I hate, by the way. It's what I already know and believe works. And the reason I already know and believe that it works is because I've spent the last 3 years proving it over and over again every single day. I already expect a certain amount of money and sales to come in every single day because that's where my level is at. That's the belief I've developed. That's the path of least resistance for me. That's the belief I can get behind and amplify to allow more money to come in. Oh my gosh, talk about a facepalm moment. Let me tell you, since I lined up my belief with the path of least resistance for me, which, if I'm being honest, I only actually implemented like 4 or 5 days ago, my daily sales have tripled. They have tripled. And I didn't do anything different. I didn't do anything grandiose. I didn't announce something. I didn't launch something. I didn't post an ad. I did what I already know how to do. That is the path of least resistance for me. And I tripled my sales, my daily sales, passively. Because this is what I decided even before I started my business, that this is how it gets to be. This is how I get to make money. This is how I prefer it to be. And this is how it's going to be, right? And so it's completely aligned with who I am and what I do because I've always done this. I just, for some reason, couldn't see it. And saying that and telling you that story, this is what we do, right? We have beliefs about how money comes to us. We have beliefs about how we make money. We have beliefs about how we use our money, how we save our money, how we keep our money, and how we spend our money. We have beliefs about all of that. And that's the thing I want to leave you with today. I want to leave you with a few questions you can ask yourself about your own path of least resistance to see if you can use any of your current beliefs to help you close the gap between you and your desire. Now, you might not have any that you can work with, and that's okay. That's when you move into the vibrational work, which I recommend everyone does anyway because it's important to clean up your beliefs and, just feel good more often than not. But if there's any even tiny little morsel of a spark of a belief around money that's positive and that serves you, that you can get behind, use it. So here are the 5 questions I'm going to leave you with today. Question number 1. What do you currently believe about how money comes to you? I'll say it again. What do you currently believe about how money comes to you? So for me, I believe that money comes to me through my business. I do manifest money in some other areas like surprise ways, but for me, because my livelihood is my business, I expect it to come through my business. What about you? What do you currently believe about how money comes to you? Is it through your job? Is it through your business? Is it through your partner? What do you believe? Question number 2. What do you already believe that works when it comes to making money? So for me, realizing that the passive income systems I have always used and teach how to use is what works for me. That's how it gets to work for me. That's how I decided before I even started my business that that's how it works. So what do you already believe that works for you when it comes to making money? Question number 3, is there any kind of belief that serves you that you could get behind? Right? So out of those beliefs that you came up with, are any of them a belief that you could get behind, that you could really amplify and use to close the gap between you and your desire? So I was able to use the belief that I make my money through my passive income systems because I have no resistance to it, because over the 3 years that I've been running my business, I have used these systems that time, and it's proven to me again and again and again that it works. And so I have the belief that it works now, that this is how it gets to be. Okay? So is there any kind of belief that serves you that you could get behind? Question number 4. What can you do to help yourself believe that more money is coming, or that the money is already here? I'll say it again. What can you do to help yourself believe that more money is coming, or that the money is already here? So for me, remember when I asked myself, what could I do to help myself believe that more money is coming, or that it could come, was through publishing more products that I already had set up in the background, but for some reason I just wasn't selling. So enabling those products to go live helped me close the gap on what I wanted. I didn't necessarily believe that I could hit my highest earning month just from selling the 2 products, but enabling several more to be sold helped me close that gap between me and my goal. So I was able to believe it a bit more. What can you do to help yourself believe that more money is coming, or that it's already here? And finally, question number 5. What action feels inspired that will help you be able to get behind your belief? I'll say it again. What action feels inspired that will help you be able to get behind your belief? So for me, that was implementing what I already know how to do, which is all the passive income systems that I've implemented over the years, and just amplified it for all of my products. That felt inspired. That was so easy to do. I already knew how to do it. And I already even had things set up, but they were like half done, and I don't know why I didn't do them. So, what action feels inspired that will help you be able to get behind your belief? Hey, it's Elise again. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got a lot out of it. And if you did, I would love for you to share your review of this episode on iTunes. I want this podcast to get out to as many people as possible to help them become soul-led millionaires. So if you could do that, if you love the show and you want to share the love, please make sure you leave a review. If you would like more goodies, if you just can't get enough and you want to learn even more, I have a free 3-day workshop on how to manifest $1,000 or more in 30 days that I would love for you to take. All the details of that are in the show notes below. Otherwise, if you just want to say hi, come over to Instagram at Elise McDowell. Thank you once again for listening to this episode. I will see you again soon.